It was Gone with the Wind. Now, Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer. Epic films with running times that test even the most dedicated movie lovers. Now there are calls for 2-hour-plus films to come with an intermission.
Once upon a time, during a long film, there was an intermission.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
One place springs to mind, Scarlett, but it seems those days of pressing pause, taking a break, are gone with the wind.
It's coming from the grassroots, it's coming from the front line. Our customers have been saying to us that they want an intermission, they need an interval.
It's not like it hasn't been pointed out to these modern-day film directors.
The Irishman was amazing. It was amazing. It was long, but amazing. It wasn't the only epic movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So...
Now, am I going crazy, or are films getting longer?
Of course you're not going crazy. The thing is, though, you haven't lived since 1920. If you had, then you wouldn't feel that way.
But one film has seemingly gone too far. Martin Scorsese's epic Killers of the Flower Moon has great reviews. It also runs 3 hours and 26 minutes. The purists love it.
Killers of the Flower Moon is an exceptional piece of cinematic work. It's amazing, and it's not too long at all.
The Choc Tops hate it.
We know that in home entertainment that people can pause the film. I don't think that the argument that it spoils the film holds any water at all. In fact, I think that a short break only helps.
Benjamin Zicola, CEO of Palace Cinemas, has joined other independents calling for the return of the interval.
What we're trying to avoid is anyone having to get up during the middle of the film.
But a UK cinema chain did take a stand, inserting its own break, and it got whacked by Scorsese's people.
The consequences could be quite severe. No cinema could afford to lose supply from a major Hollywood studio.
That, without asking permission, is clearly not on.
CJ Johnson, president of the Film Critics Circle of Australia, says we should look at film like art.
If you were running an art gallery, you would not take a large painting that you thought was too dominant for a particular room in your gallery and cut it in two and exhibit it in two separate rooms without asking the artist first.
Over time, sweeping Hollywood epics have inserted an intermission. Lawrence of Arabia, 3 hours, 38 minutes.
They hope to gain their freedom.
Ben-Hur had one, just over 2 hours into the 3-hour 32 masterpiece. But some more recent films are literally bigger than, yep, Ben-Hur. And before we go there, time for a short break. Right. Oppenheimer, 3 hours. Avatar, Way of the Water, 3 hours 12. Babylon, 3 hours 9 minutes. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, 3 hours 21 minutes. We won't spoil the ending just in case you're still watching.
Intermissions initially served a practical function so the projectionist could change over the film reels during a feature presentation for a seamless show.
Astor Theatre film curator Zach Hepburn says the idea of a self-regulated intermission has really been around since the home VHS.
Alfred Hitchcock once famously said that the length of a film should be linked to the endurance of an audience member's bladder.
On that,
I think it's absolutely reasonable, especially for this population who really struggle to hold their bladders.
Dr Sandra Elmer knows all about streaming, and the Australian New Zealand College of Urology wants the intermission back for our health.
So this population of people who are in their 60s, 70s to 80s who want to go to movies, I have lots of patients who actually won't go because they just can't hold, they get that urgency and they leak.
But will this long film trend continue?
Films are not getting longer, they're just getting longer in a brief period of time. They're longer than they were maybe in 2007, but not historically.
A fad? Perhaps. But in an age where our attention span is shrinking, the question remains, how long is too long? And on that note, I'm out.
So what do you think?